Welcome back. Continuing the news. More controversy in the lower house today as the opposition clashed again with government members about the seating arrangement for Westmoreland Central MP George Wright. The opposition remains adamant Mr. Wright is not one of their members and should not sit among them, while the Prime Minister and Speaker weigh in. Parliament roll call.
Mr. Williams, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Witter, Mr. Wright.
The embattled Westmoreland Central MP George Wright responded to his name in his new seat on the opposition benches of Parliament, much to the annoyance of Leader of Opposition Business Anthony Hilton.
Madam Speaker, there is a stranger in our midst on this side of the House. On this side of the House.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
This raging debate is a spillover from last week's sitting about the seating arrangements for Mr. Wright, who is now an independent MP.
First of all, there's no stranger in the House. Anyone who is a member of this House is a member of this House.
But House Speaker Marissa Dalrymple Philibert would have none of it.
On either side of the aisle, there have been 2 vacant seats that allows for movement on either side. This afternoon, as we sit in Parliament, all members of the opposition are properly seated on the opposition side.
This, however, didn't stop the parliamentary opposition from pushing.
I am now going to call...
Madam Speaker.
No, I'm not going to allow
Madam Speaker,
you.
on a point of order.
You
have sat there in your chair. You have allowed the Leader of Government Business to impute motive and to call us histrionic because we have sought to express our opinion.
I believe
that's
to
wrong,
ask
and
the
I believe that it's an abuse of the majority.
What the member is saying.
Matter.
I have not given her permission to speak.
And even during the discussion surrounding the Prime Minister's presentation, the matter would come up again. Opposition leader Mark Golding suggesting that a walkout was being contemplated.
At the end of the day, it would be a gesture. Gestures can matter, but gestures can be misinterpreted. It would be a gesture because there's no way we can permanently exclude ourselves from this chamber.
Forgive me for joining the diversion of the Leader of the Opposition from the matter at hand, but he raised an interesting prospect at which I would crave his response. If the member were elected independent, where would he sit?
A person who's contested an election as a member has no allegiance to the party that wins or the party that doesn't win. The person is truly independent. In that instance, the norm is that the person does not sit on the government side. In this instance, the gentleman was elected as a government MP. The only reason why he is not treated as such any longer is because of the invidious circumstances which have led him to be excluded from his party and from their caucus. There is absolutely no point of principle of divergence between him and the governing side. He should not be among us on this side.
The House Speaker, however, would have the last say.
And right now, at this time, the Leader of Government Business is assigned to do the seating accordingly. The opposition benches belong to any member of Parliament who is not a member of the ruling party. As it stands now, regardless of the inferences, regardless of the opinions of anybody, the member, George Wright, is not a member of the governing party, and that cannot be disputed.